so I'm not going to subject you to any more of that, but I did want to tell you a story about, well, the things that the rain can bring, the beautiful things that the rain can bring. It's really tricky trying to hold these three things so that you can see them all, so that I'm not throwing any kind of potentially misinterpreted gestures your way while trying to show them to you in a clumsy way. Well, here's one of them. The point is that these are some tomatoes that came from the recent rainfall here in the city where I live, San Antonio, Texas. So for all of those who are tuning into this channel and going, what the heck are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about the fact that we got some reasonable rainfall recently. I want to show you some of the footage from some of that rainfall right now so that you can see it. So as you can see, our waterways were filled with some amazing water that was rushing through the arteries of this local city, or the city that I'm in. I guess it would be local by default. And a lot of you are probably tuning in going, what the heck is this guy talking about? What is his channel? What is the purpose? Well, the purpose is I'm basically telling you my story. This is a channel called YouTube, and some people have tried to incentivize all of these aspects of whatever it is that we do. We want to find the most viewers, the most clicks, the most subscribes. I want to sell the most shirts, etc. Well, somewhere along the way, I learned that selling more shirts and creating more rubbish has turned into an interesting challenge, because every single thing that we purchase, including those, let's say the bottles of refreshments, tend to wind up in our attention stream, like this. So if you haven't noticed by now, a lot of what I show on this channel has to do with wildlife and nature. And the nature of my channel is that I try to bring together in harmony a lot of different aspects that help us to focus on a subject. And that subject has a lot to do with whether we are tending to one another peacefully, or if we're instead causing each other challenges because the trajectory that we're on is more in alignment with that entity that comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And some of us don't really see ourselves as adding to that chaos, adding to the destruction, but in a lot of cases, some of us aren't encouraging one another properly or incentivizing each other properly. And I don't mean just by money, aren't incentivizing each other properly to get each other motivated to do something right for one another. In a lot of cases, we're just basically going through the motions. And I heard someone say recently that people get confused by the chosen ones because the chosen ones are on different timelines. Like, someone who is chosen can go in one direction and then another direction and another direction. And all of the other beings that might be in alignment with the entity that's here to kill, steal, and destroy might be left a little bit befuddled, a little bit confused. And that is because nobody really knows what direction the chosen one, the quote unquote chosen one, is going in at that time. And for most bots or non-player characters, the general direction is to continue with a known algorithm to create that disillusion and that discord that takes away the heart of a beautiful spirit, a beautiful being. And when something is trying to take away the heart of a beautiful being, when something is trying to kill a unicorn, then that's a travesty. That's something that most people would notice if they themselves were still respectful of the unicorn or of the beauty within one another. So when we're not respectful of the beauty within one another, we oftentimes will find ourselves having communication difficulties, because instead of being an admirer of one another, we will have a little bit of disrespect that comes from resent for one another. So have you ever heard that word resent? I've heard it a few times, and sometimes people have told me that I resent things. The funny thing is that I've resent things to certain people that have been mailed improperly, but I don't have resent even for that. I might call it out that the local shipping service accidentally mixed up some labels and sent things to the wrong place. I've had to pay the price, but also the recipients have had to pay the price. And also the delivery people who made the mistake have had to pay the price because they had to do double work. So in these examples that I'm giving that would be akin to parables, I'm talking about the work that we're doing right now with one another, for one another, and how some of it has had to be redone repeatedly, possibly even throughout civilizations, throughout generations, throughout lifespans, maybe even multiple lives. Not really sure how it works, but some of us believe in the power of resurrection, life after death. And in fact, I believe one of the songs or one of the albums by the band whose shirt I'm wearing is called something like Live After Death. And anyway, do you hear me anyway? For everyone who's interested in imagery and communication challenges that arise because of imagery, we might start to lower our guard a bit and start to think about things without using the ego as the guidance system. When we don't use the ego as the guidance system, we're more like children. We might say words that maybe are inappropriate. We might say jokes that are inappropriate. We might play. We might have fun. We might use humor. So humor me this: if someone were to say a joke that was inappropriate, are they going to be canceled, or is it only if it's inappropriate at a certain level? At what level do we determine that something is inappropriate? I saw a show recently where a superstar celebrity basically sent some inappropriate pictures to another celebrity of a sort, but it was the male who sent some inappropriate pictures to a female, and the female was the one who got canceled from the celebrity business because the male was so well regarded. Now, some of you might know what show I'm talking about, some of you might not, but it doesn't really matter. In general, general being a Freudian slip, but in general, you have a lot of leaders who have said that they didn't do anything with that person. And they basically continued to be allowed to be the leader, even though they're out there grabbing people by the throat.
His chum was born in the trailer park. He'd sell all his neighbors meth, and if they pissed him off, he'd narc. And if anybody called him a wussy, well, he'd reach up and grab him by the neck.
You know, I'm sure many of you follow. You know that I'm not talking in code. You know that I'm talking in legitimate terms about actual events that have happened. And I'm showing you things that have happened. And I'm talking about topics that are happening. And I'm asking that we pray for reasonable rainfall for one another and that we recognize that rainfall might not just be actual water, although that is the life-giving source. It isn't, money, all the paper money that we can have, all of the account zeros that we can have in our account. It doesn't really matter. All of those things are more made up than the actual water and rainfall and the actual fruit that we can participate in growing with and for one another to help each other to heal again. So I hope that this stuff makes sense. If you are paying attention, if you're grateful for the things that I'm sharing, I hope that you will also share a thumbs up for this channel. Share a comment about something you're grateful for. Help the algorithm to grow something out of this channel and to grow me into a direction that makes sense. And dollars, but mostly I don't really worry about the dollars. Let's help grow it into something that helps make healing foods, healing opportunities for one another, and to help bring peace to this circumstance that we're being dealt. In all the chaos around us, I see a lot of solutions and I don't see a lot of participation. And so I participate, but I don't have a lot of help along the way. And that's taken a considerable toll on my health. So for anyone who is into prayer, I hope that you're able to overlook some of the imagery that I've got going on around me. I hope you're able to overlook any kind of discrimination. And I hope you're able to use the power of discernment to figure out that I am asking for help. I have been asking for prayers. I have been showing you the demons that I've been battling with. And I have been responsibly attempting to pick up the pieces in ways that help our families to heal together. So I hope that you're able to help, really help in one way or another. And even if you're not, though, the simple thumbs up is probably one of the most helpful things that you can do. It's easy. A comment would be a little bit more challenging. A comment that was applicable to the topics that we're talking about would be highly regarded, probably by all of the people who are reading these comments here. And either way, the algorithm will do what's necessary, and as will the beings that are both of death and decay and destruction, and also life and prosperity and joy. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for caring. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.